this? Should we expect? Well, here it is.
Yep, he's opened with his king's pawn, and Maxime Vachier Lagrave replying with the Sicilian defense. Will we see the Sicilian Najdorf? That is Vachier Lagrave's calling card. Lagrave just pausing here, maybe deciding upon which Sicilian to play, and no, Caruana does not go for the open Sicilian, trying to open up the center by pushing a pawn. That served him well in the last 2 times these players faced each other over the board. Instead, White gave a check with his bishop. We saw a trade of light squared bishops, and now it is a bit more of a maneuvering game. Finally, belatedly, Caruana does open up the center. This is what we call the bishop b5 check Sicilian. This is one of White's most solid ways of playing against the dynamic Sicilian defense. And White now just shoring up his center with pawns. Note how most of White's pawns now lie on light squares, because those are the opposite color to his bishop. Solid stuff so far. White is supposed to have a tiny advantage in these types of positions. It's just easier to play with White when you have more space due to your far advanced pawns, but Black has no weaknesses. Black castled the king. White now proving his bishop. Let's see what Vachier Lagrave has in store here. The most popular moves would be to either push a pawn, maybe to bring the rook across, also develop a knight. Lots of choice.
Now, one thing I have to say about this opening is Black does need to do something once he's completed the development, because if he does nothing, then White will have a very, very comfortable space advantage. If you look at those 2 white pawns in the middle of the board, you can see they control a lot of squares, and this is going to be uncomfortable. And the whole purpose of this opening is that by giving that check right at the beginning, you get rid of your light squared bishops. Now, if those bishops were on the board, it would be blocked in. So I do favor White in these type of positions, but that's my style of chess.
Yes, and when I was young, I used to play these with White, and I used to think, oh, it's too strategic, it's too difficult to handle. But yeah, the older you get, the more you realize actually it's just about patience. It's just about maintaining White's space advantage, trying to stop any Black potential pawn breaks. White is playing kind of in
and moved it 1 square and formed a nice pawn chain. Beautiful. And there we go. We see it on the board.
And that pawn chain is undermined immediately by Maxime Vachier Lagrave, pushing one of the Black pawns forward. That is that's the most ambitious way to play, right? Has that been played before?
It has been played before, and they've been played by very aggressive players. So I'll just take those moves. So you can see White has captured the pawn, and now you can see that Black has moved knight to attack the queen, and the queen has stepped backwards. In fact, this line has been played by 2 of the tour participants, and now Black immediately challenges in the center. This is the fundamental idea. It's been played by Niels Grandelius, the Swedish Grandmaster, and also Jordan van Forest.
Okay, so 2 young, very ambitious, creative players have patented this opening before. So Black currently is pawn down. Black has sacrificed a pawn on that left flank. He's going to forget that and take how you can recapture. It's all, it's kind of I move, you react, that type of chess. But Caruana, it does look like he's been surprised by this opening choice. So he is the one burning time on the clock first. He's the one having to think. You see Caruana there, he tends to have a poker face. He's just trying to work out the consequences of, for example, capturing Black's pawn in the center, which he does. He captures it with his knight. Black recaptures. White will take that back as well. And lots of trades are happening now. What will we see Maxime Vachier Lagrave do? He's got a choice of 2 pawns to capture. Black can capture a pawn with his own pawn. Over there on the left, you can also capture White's central pawn, which I would maybe expect to see. Probably central pawns are more important than flank pawns at this moment, with things so open, with the game kind of speeding up and gaining momentum. You don't want to allow your opponent to keep his central pawns unless you really have to. So Vachier Lagrave just fueling up there, having some nuts, having some snacks. He knows that this position for sure. He has studied this one. How will he react? I expect to see Black's queen take a pawn right now.
Alright, and we did take a look at the head-to-head score between these 2 in rapid chess. It was quite overwhelmingly for Maxime Vachier Lagrave. Just that sort of mostly speaks to us about his capabilities in speed chess.
Yeah, for sure. And I think historically, at least, Caruana has struggled slightly in speed chess relative to his classical chess strengths, just because he needs a bit more time to calculate. Vachier Lagrave is maybe quicker with the calculation. He's also more confident at getting those moves down on the board. And Okay, there, Vachier Lagrave, I was saying he might capture a different pawn. He captured with his own pawn.